Mic'd up.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Yankees Coast to Coast. I don't know why I don't have any music here. I want to see if I can get some on. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Hold on. Hold on.
Mic'd up.
All right. We are back. I didn't think that was very impressive music by any stretch of the imagination. We will get better at that over time. Thank you. So without Mike, Mike has his whole system set up. So yes, we do not have Mike tonight. So we do have the famous KRAMUH.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't know about everybody. It's probably just you and me right now. But by tomorrow, when we get onto YouTube, there'll be a few of us listening in, and it's good to have you back. Kramer is really a savant on all things baseball related and a lot of things in life. He's a smart man, and we're lucky to have him back. We have a little hard time getting going on the technology side, but now we seem to have worked out our problems. We have him back. And what I want to do when I have a guest like Kramer, I want to just kind of get his feeling on things. You know, 12 games. I guess they're 12 games, or is it 13? They lost
They
their
are 13.
13 games. So they lost for the fifth time this year. First time they lost with more than one run, giving up by more than one run. I thought it was again another just terrible display on so many levels. Offensively, he just can't seem to execute. And when they need it most, I was looking at the other team, and I love the way the Rays play. You know, the suicide squeeze or the safety squeeze. There was a point where I don't know, was it Walls who went to right field on a stolen base, someone stealing, and there was an old school. It felt like an old school hit and run. It wasn't. And it wasn't, maybe it wasn't even on purpose, but he saw an open hole and he went into it. When was the last time you saw the Yankees, let a runner take off and then let the fielder determine where you were going to hit the ball? It's been
Well,
years. So just so nice to see that there are still ball players out there that know how to play baseball and not what this game is now, which is home run, strikeout, go home. So, anyway, tell me about how do you feel about the state of this team right now, just overall?
I think they're very fortunate and lucky to be 8-5. I don't want to get too much into statistics. They're batting, if I saw this correctly, 201 as a team,
Amazing.
which you can't win that way. And we've said it. This is the sixth year running. They just don't have a proper construction of the batting order. I mean, there's no top of the lineup. There just isn't. I mean, I know that the bottom of the line has been anemic, and that's going to happen. I get that, but there's no top of the order. So, I mean, I long for the days where you put on a Yankee game and the opposing pitcher really has to worry about how am I going to get the leadoff hitter out? Okay, now I have the number two hitter. Now I got Judge, who should be batting third. They don't have that construction, and it's showing,
Yeah, you really
unfortunately.
see it, and
Yeah.
they try. They move things around. I like Goldschmidt in the lineup, though I don't see him as a leadoff hitter. It's an embarrassment. That's what they have. That's how they see this working. But there just seems to be they seem to fly in the face of conventional wisdom that I grew up at least watching, which was you get a leadoff hitter whose job it is to get on base no matter what, steal a bag,
Yeah.
open up some opportunities for the next two or three guys to get up. And they just don't do that. They really not since Gardner. And then Gardner started to get away from it when he started to try to hit home runs. So it really, I can't remember the last time they had a pure leadoff hitter whose only job was to go. Maybe going back here, maybe Mickey Rivers is the last one that they had
Maybe.
that was really like that, which is 40 years. So you really have to feel bad.
Mickey Rivers,
That's
that's our friend.
that's our buddy. But Mick's still like that. Mick, I talk to him at camp all the time. I always ask him, "What do you think? What's missing?" And he goes, "Just not the way no one gets paid for getting on base anymore. You get paid for launch angle and praying and for a Judge to hit a three-run homer. That's the game now, which is unfortunate. But what do you think of? Let's bring up some other. I'm going to just mention some names. I want you to
Yeah.
tell me what you feel when you hear the name and what you think.
Okay.
Um, uh, Randall Grichuk. Uh,
Okay.
what is
Well,
that?
this is a family program, so no four-letter words. But Randall Grichuk, I want to know. To be fair, he was a first-round pick, and it's the funny thing about Grichuk,
Mhm.
and real savants will remember this. He was picked the choice right before Mike Trout. I think the Anaheim Angels had two picks in a row. So it didn't matter. They picked one first and one second. He was picked at the same draft as Mike Trout. He's had a pretty credible, he's had a decent career.
Yeah,
There was a point where, he was a feared right-handed hitter. And I could see a role for him being a bench player or a player to play against left-handed pitching. But there's been some decline the last 2 years. So
exactly.
the idea that the Yanks had to bring someone in was the right idea. I just think it's the wrong player.
Yeah.
So
All
nice
right.
career, but I think it's about at the end.
So,
Yeah.
do you feel that he should get the position? Should he be playing instead um, of Dominguez?
Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny you mentioned Dominguez's name. See, what the Yanks have not done, and this is where the fans' point of view will come in, especially the ones that go to the games and the ones like us that watch most of the games. What Dominguez at least would have offered the fans is a good four-letter word, hope. Guy's 23 years old. Okay, he didn't have a good year last year against left-handed pitching. How's he going to master it unless he's on the field? Now, the counter argument is, well, if he can't master it, he's not ready. But they're getting nothing out of Grichuk, who again, he's 35 years old. There's no upside there anymore. The Yanks would have been much better off with Dominguez on the team. And I know that leads into another decision that they've made, which probably we'll discuss either tonight or a different time. But I agree with you. Dominguez would have been the better choice. No doubt
And
about it.
that leads me to Gus, the Big Sleep Grissom. What's the story with our center fielder right now? Even though he wasn't there tonight.
I always wanted to ask you where Gus came from, but if you're not allowed to answer it here, I understand.
No, Gus Grissom,
Yeah.
the second astronaut to go into space.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Okay, I didn't realize that. So,
Sank the
uh,
Liberty Bell. God,
oh,
a lot of
I
people,
didn't even
especially on a
realize that.
day today where we did such amazing things coming back from the moon today. But but yeah, Gus Grissom, and I don't know why, but I always think of Gus Grissom every time I see him. Maybe because his name is Grissom,
Oh,
close enough.
okay, now I get it. Um, Grisham, as far as being on the 2026 Yankee team, I don't blame the player because when the Yanks made that decision they made, it was a no-brainer for him.
Yeah,
Now that he's here, this is where the Yanks have been failing. There's no foresight on not only what the player did, but what's the player going to do the next year and the following year. It was very unlikely he was going to match. I mean, I give him a lot of credit for last year, but it was extremely unlikely he was going to match that. And now you're paying not only for him to match it, you're almost paying for him to exceed what he did last year, and it's not going to happen.
that's right.
It's a
22,
terrible,
25
terrible
million.
use of their funds, and it also blocked, as you mentioned, Dominguez. It blocked both Dominguez and Jones.
Yeah, yeah,
They, that would have been an interesting platoon. Now Jones has contact issues, I get that, but you know what? I don't want to get involved in the labor strike because baseball fans know 2027 could be in jeopardy. But with that in mind, if you want to have foresight, this was a perfect year to find out about those two players. Spencer Jones is going to be 25 years old in a month or so.
yeah.
If it's not now, when's it going to be? I mean, okay, if he fails, you send him back down to get a little more seasoning, but you're never going to know what. Now you don't know what you have.
That's right, and they've
Now you
been
know,
before. I think the Yankees are known for prospect rot.
yeah,
And it's very bad. They've done it. I can think of maybe 10 guys in the last decade that have been ruined, and there are people who are bitter about it. I mean, Clint Frazier, for all of his Michigas, is an interesting
yeah,
podcast called After the Show that I listen to a lot. He's interesting. He's angry, and you can feel the anger that he feels that some of these guys are treated badly because he remembers what it was like to be this guy. He was the one who was up and down. He was the one they didn't give him a shot. They thought he was hurt all the time when he wasn't really hurt, and they would use that to keep him down a little bit. I think he's angry about it, and I think the Yankees have done this with too many guys, and this would have been a good opportunity to give this guy to give. I mean, I do think Jones has more to prove, but I don't believe that Dominguez does. I think Dominguez needs to get better. I don't think that he has anything to prove. I think he can hit. I think they've seen that he can hit in the league. He just needs to do some new things. He needs to improve his game, and sometimes he just can't do that. And as we all know, AAA is not the place you want to be. You'd rather have some. That's more of a double A thing where you go see the real quality. AAA, you see a lot of like wash up, a lot of guys that aren't really, who are sort of the 4A guys who aren't going to make it. You're not seeing real prospects anymore. So he's going to hit 369 down there. And what are we going to know about him? What do we
Well,
know?
to be fair about Dominguez, what the Yankees' concern was, and this was a valid concern, is his defense was not
Yeah.
playable. That's the problem.
Well, not
And
in left field, and I think
yeah,
a lot of people feel that
yeah,
he belongs in center, and that the Yankees seem to, you notice he's playing a lot of center field right now in AAA. So it's interesting to see if they're now beginning to think maybe that's our opportunity. He's not comfortable with the angles in left field at
yeah.
Yankee Stadium. It's very hard.
Well, just from a fan's point of view, even a casual fan's point of view, having Jones and or Dominguez on the team, it's just a little more exciting to see. You have someone with upside. I mean, Grisham gets a lot of credit for last year, but what's he, I think he's 30 years old. There's very limited upside with him, and
Yeah.
he's not a leadoff hitter.
We've seen the
Yeah,
best that he has to offer, and it was
yeah,
last year. And
yeah.
I didn't think it was so great. Thought he hit a lot of home runs. I thought his fielding was weaker than he was advertised, whether that's for an injury or not.
It wasn't
But
as
I
terrible as people say, though. It was adequate.
Yeah, but I think in
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
instances he struck out a lot. He strikes out way too much. This year I'm happy that he's taking some walks, but at the cost of power. He does not seem to have that pop this year. I also thought he came into camp heavy. He looked a little weighty to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but he looked a little bit hefty when he came in. I'm wondering if he was in the shape that he needed to be in. We'll find that out. They won't talk about that until the middle of the off season next year when they're
Yeah,
deciding not to sign him. They're going to say, well, he came to camp heavy.
yeah,
Willing
yeah,
to bet you $10,000 they're going to say that right now. All right, next question for you.
yeah.
Another interesting category are second basemen.
I knew
What
that was coming.
what's going on
You,
with
you
this
see,
guy?
well, you know me better than some people in the audience. I have a goofball side, as you know, so
No,
I don't sort of mind that in a player if that's what they are. But the unfortunate impression that Chisholm gives everybody doesn't seem to be a winning ball player. I mean, I think he's likable. I haven't heard of any teammate dislike him. I don't even think opponents dislike him. He's a likable guy, but he just doesn't seem to be a winning type of player, and it's a shame because you want him to be a winning player. He can hit for some power. He runs like the wind. He's got very good speed. He's not a bad defender. But when the game is on the line, it just doesn't seem that he's got that gene. I mean,
yeah,
maybe he'll flip the
the head's not
switch,
in it.
but
It seems
but it just doesn't see it. Just doesn't seem like he has it.
he seems to
Yeah.
be his head seems to be a little bit out of every game. I always feel that he's a little bit too focused on the look of it all. He's too much into the wonder of it all rather than just the focus. I don't see the focus that I'd like to see from somebody like him. I think it's important if he'd focus and then, like you said, calm down, maybe ease off a little bit on the swing. We might have a player there that can help us. But I find it intriguing that this is a guy. I look at the guy today. Simpson made a terrible play in the outfield, so he
Yeah.
obviously has his liability. Um, but every ball he hit today, every ball was on the ground.
Well,
All he wanted to do
yeah.
was to get to first base. That's all he cared about. And
Well,
what I would do to have a guy like that on our team, somebody who is just trying to drop the ball down and get to first base at whatever the cost. As a result of his speed, because of that, they scored. They scored one of their runs today.
It's funny you say that because he is a very unusual prospect. Well, now he's a major league player. I won't call him a prospect,
Mm.
but the Rays have instilled in him exactly that. Said you got to hit the ball on the ground. If he hits the ball anywhere in the air, he's an automatic out. He
Yeah,
has no power, and I'm not insulting him when I say it. No
not
power. You
his
look at his
game.
minor league numbers. I don't think he's. I think he has one home run.
That's not his game.
It's not
That's
his
not what
game.
he's built for. He
It's
recognizes, and this is an important point you're making.
Well, the Rays recognized it.
Yeah,
The Rays said you hit the ball on the ground. Any ground ball that he hits to the left side of the infield, if you don't field it cleanly, he's getting on first base. That's how fast he is. So as long as
amazing.
you field it cleanly, you'll get him out. But but he's also an imperfect player. He's
Yeah,
not a good outfielder, not just because of today.
no,
He's
he's
a
got
work in
problems.
progress in center field.
But it's funny how
But
they let him do that. They let him go
yep,
there because he
yep,
offers something
yep.
that they need. He's an imperfect player, but they allow him to be imperfect. You know, the Yankees aren't so much better than the rest of the league that they need they can just say, you know what, we have enough players to not have that. Like if you have an all-star at every position, everybody is great. Yeah, you're going to keep your minor leaguers down. But when you've got guys who are weak, who have problems, who are more about contracts, and you're leaving a young guy down who might be able to give you a little bit of that intangible, it's
Well,
sad.
that was the Grisham mistake. I know we spoke about the off season. That was the Grisham mistake.
Yeah.
It was a very very bad miscalculation because now they're stuck with the player and they lost the roster spot.
Yeah,
So
I heard a
so,
statistic tonight on the post game that the Yankees have got less than 10 hits
that's
in
right.
these last 3 games for
Yeah.
the first time
It-
for in 35 years. I mean, that's
It's
amazing when you
I
think
think
of.
I think the last time they did it, it was Stump Merrill's team
Yeah,
or Bucky Dent. It was Bucky Dent or
probably
Stump
Bucky.
Merrill's team.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the difference is you knew that team couldn't hit. This team supposedly can hit a little bit, but the lineup is so poorly constructed, and it's the half a decade. It's the 60th year in a row we're saying it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so poorly constructed.
You're right.
You know,
Well, I think what's going to happen now is, tomorrow they'll win 10-1. Fried will pitch a
right?
great game and they'll win, and everyone will be pacified, and they'll feel good. And then Sunday will come out and they'll lose another one or win one 2-1, and then you'll think, what's going on here? Everything is fine, except it's
It's not
not.
fine. It's
It's
not
not
fine.
fine. You
No,
can't win. You can't do
you,
this. You
you
can't
can't.
win. You can't win in important games when it's cold in
That,
October on a with this type of offense. And we've said it year after year after year. And we don't like people. Some people say we're negative Nellies here.
no, not at all. We're
We,
telling it
we,
as it is.
but we are negative on this one. But also, we they said the same thing. Oh, they're 8-5. Well, you know what? They were 8-2, and now they're eight
Yeah,
and five, and tomorrow they'll be 8-6, and that's still a good start. And they're 8-7. It's still in first place. I mean, that's the stuff that always bites them in the tuchus because everyone gives them a bye because they're always good enough, but they're never good enough to win it all,
well,
and that's
I've
what's missing.
That means they're not good. It's funny. That means they're not good enough. You put these nine guys against a playoff pitcher. How are they going to score if they don't hit the ball out of the park or get lucky? How are they going to score?
They don't.
Yeah,
I saw a great podcast recently from these guys. Gary Sheffield's kid has a really good podcast, Yankees Universe. I'm not sure if I remember the name. Sorry, guys, if you're listening. I know you guys listen to us. But they were talking about how they can't. The only year that the Yankees really hit in the playoffs was 2020, and that was the year they didn't even play at Yankee Stadium in the playoffs. They played
right.
they played in warm weather the whole month, and they just say the Yankees. It seems that the Yankees just can't really get going, in these cold weather time of year. Even though they're winning because of for every reason but they're hitting, but it's because they just don't have that. When it's hard, when it's cold, when it's nasty, you just want a guy get up there, suck it up, hit a ground ball up the middle, win the game, and go home. You don't have that with this team. And you don't
Yeah.
have that. That's the only way you beat really good teams in the playoffs. That's how we used to beat We used to beat, what's his name, Martinez. The Red Sox. How great that used to be. We used to,
that was. I
you know,
mean,
we,
y-
we'd take him deep into games. We'd get him his pitch count up over 100, and then we'd kill him with a few singles, and that was it. Maybe a home run, a popped one. They'd win 2-1, and we'd go home, and it was great because they just knew exactly how to keep him. They knew how to keep these good arms. They knew how to get to them by being annoying. Now it's not. You don't see it. You see a lot of weak hacks. Tonight I saw Jazz do something. First of all, again, he blew another tap, which is killing me. Just got to tell
I
him to
saw
stop
that.
tapping.
Yeah,
But you tap, and then he looks like he's dejected, and the next swing looks like he's he left he already left the batter's box. I'm like, "Yeah, what's going on?"
well, a lot of the strikeouts not at strikes. They're swinging at pitches that some of them aren't even close, and you wonder what's the anxious about. You don't like that pitch, wait for the next one.
Maybe.
But that's also the product of not having the proper leadoff hitter and number two hitter.
Yeah.
That's the product of it. I mean, what else can I tell you? I don't want to beat the dead horse. That
No,
it's it's
beat him.
it's still a problem, and I was hoping this offseason would correct it.
Yeah,
Nothing. Yeah.
nothing. So a couple things I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna do the same thing I did to Miller when we end. I just want to finish one thing. What did you think of Heel tonight?
Well, I it's funny. I don't want to be too harsh, but I don't think it's unreasonable to think that we expected more. I don't think it's
Hmm.
unreasonable to think that. But the problem with Thiel is that he's not efficient. As you can see, way too many pitches,
Yeah,
and he got the first two guys out. Okay, that's promising. And he couldn't get the third guy out.
that's
Eight
right.
pitches to the third batter, and the third batter walks.
And that killed him. That
And that
killed him
killed
right
him
there.
because then the
And
next
then
bat,
I think he was at 80 pitches. Well, I don't know what was going on, but he did they let him? I don't think he made it that far, but eh, by the fourth
four
inning,
innings. I
there
mean, I
was
mean,
nothing left. There was
I mean,
nothing, and his command is off. He looks like he was throwing wide. He seemed to
just off.
be
I mean,
he was
and
dropping a few off. It just didn't seem like how many wild pitches. I think he had two, three, two. If they didn't count, they were wild pitches still.
and
But
it's oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. And just coincidentally, when I was speaking to another buddy of ours who's a Yankee fan, this was last off season, not this one. And I said, the Yanks would be smart. They should see what Tampa Bay wants for Yandy Diaz. Because he's the type of veteran that can bat in the one or the two spot. I said they should see what they never happened. And sure enough, Diaz is the one that got the hanging pitch and he knew what to do with it. He went opposite field, didn't overswing. And the second he hit it, he knew it was out.
it was
And
gone.
so did we.
And how,
And that was
and
it.
how about our boy Rice? Huh? Boy,
Yep.
boy,
Yep.
boy can hit. If he cuts down on those strikeouts just a little bit more, a little less, he has these games where he also falls apart. But if he can get down to one strikeout a game, stay away from these 3 and 4 strikeouts games. He's had a little bit this year. He's gonna be.
His strikeout rate's
It's
not terrible. It was a
it's not
terrible game.
terrible.
It was a
It was a
terrible game
terrible
yesterday.
game.
I know.
That's what he had
Yeah.
couple of really. He's had a
Yeah.
couple of bad games. I was at one
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
on Saturday night. He had a bad night,
Yeah, he
and
did.
for the most part, that's okay because he's. But I gotta say, these are little refinements he makes. He's gonna be a star. I just have, and there's something about him. It reminds the energy that he plays with really excites me. It's very very good to see. I just it'd be nice to have a few more guys on base for him when he's doing
Well,
it,
yeah, I mean,
but what can we do? All right. On this note, tomorrow we'll come back. You're going to be with us another night. Michael is away I think that he's having a bris. He's going to a bris.
isn't he a little old for that?
Yeah, he's having his.
Yeah.
He's so nice of him to be going to a bris. He told me he was going to a bris. I said, "Really? Are you going to be there? Is
Yeah.
it for you?" He's very very unhappy about that. Anyway, I'm not sure what he's doing, but he's away on a trip of some kind. So we'll wish him well, and I'm sure for everybody who is just enjoying the quietness of this episode, we really try to help our many fans, and we got the good old Kramer today. Kramer, I'm going to finish on this note. Tell me about um, if you can say who this is. This is name that bobblehead.
Oh, is that my bobblehead that you broke?
No, no, I still have
Oh,
that one.
I'm trying to
Face.
see it. I'm sorry.
All right, looking at the face, can you name the bobblehead? Now, here's a picture.
I think I know it. That's not Sturch's bobblehead, is it?
No.
No, no.
Sturts? He'd be offended. Look a little closer. Anything, if I turn the back, all right, now you're going to get a real hint. You have no choice now. All right, there we go. The upside down 19.
Oh, number 19. Oh,
Or inside out 19. Come on.
why am I drawing a blank on it?
All
Um,
right.
I'm drawing a blank on it.
All
All
right, now
right.
I got to give you one more chance. I'll tell you
Yeah.
what it is after
Okay.
this one. Here's the other one. Now, you don't watch our show because I had this on the other day. There we go. Come on, this is one that's
That's
going
Mickey Rivers' bobblehead.
to be. No. All right, look. No.
Oh, oh, number 30. Jeez.
Oh my God!
Oh, I'm
My
sorry.
heart's
I'm
broken.
drawing a blank. I don't know why. I'm
Willie
drawing a complete.
Randolph. I
Oh,
can't
that's
believe.
Randolph's. Okay, I'm
So it
drawing a
was
complete blank.
Tanaka and Randolph.
I
Okay,
drew a complete blank.
we won't be
Okay.
playing that game with you
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, go have a wonderful evening. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We'll see you tomorrow around the same time after the game. And God bless and Godspeed, John Glenn.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.